Hey, all y'all out there in wherever you're watching this world, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Tiffanie Kellogg here. And if you are expecting a guest, yes, so was I. However, life happens, and our guest for today had to cancel at the last minute. So instead, you just get to hang out with me. And I'm like, what am I even going to talk about today? And I'm like, maybe I'll just talk a little bit about the women entrepreneurs living child free. We are here at a year or so since I discovered child free was even a thing. So I'm just going to kind of give you the history of what this year in the life of Tiffanie and child free has been. And so November was when I had a chat with Kimberly. We were networking either at JV Directory or at a Michael Whitehouse event. Now I'm thinking Strategic Allies. So we were networking at an event last November, and we ended up in a breakout together and commiserated around the whole child free thing. And that's when I learned child free was a thing and went looking for child free communities because they have communities for everything, right? So off I went to find my child free communities, and I did find a plethora of child free communities, some for women, some for both sexes, but was really focused on the aspect of making decision to be child free and making friends with people, or what do you do when your friends are having kids and you don't, and etc. And I'm like, that is not what I was looking for. I'm like, where's the entrepreneur child free group? And I did find one entrepreneur child free group, and Jennifer actually runs that group, and she should be on here either before the year's out or early next year, so you'll get to hear from her. Sorry, my necklace was just distracting me. I'm like, oh, is it laying flat? Sorry, squirrel, y'all. This is why we shouldn't wear shiny jewelry when we can see ourselves in the camera. So I went out there and was looking for the groups and really couldn't find a group just for child-free women. But I had already decided I wanted to start talking to more of these women because I love parents. I love guys. I mean, I don't love guys. I love my guy, Rob. I like men. I like women. I like parents. I like grandparents. I like non-parents, all of that. But there's a special affinity when you find someone that has that similarity to you, that background. And if you're thinking, wow, child-free, what similarities are there? Then you're probably not child-free, and I totally get it. And so sometimes we talk about being judged and why aren't you having kids? You're going to change your mind. The number of times women get told we're going to change our mind about having kids. I'm still waiting to change my mind about having kids. I'm child-free by choice. Some people are, that's the choice. Some people it's by circumstance. But what I found is child-free is, at least in my mind, the people that are celebrating it, that are enjoying it. And so some people couldn't have kids and they've, dealt with that in their heart, and now they're just enjoying their life. I also learned that some people use the term childless, and that's for people that want kids but haven't been able to have them. Now, I don't think that's defined in the dictionaries per se yet, but that is what I'm learning in my journey. And in January, I was networking with another child-free woman, and she does business grants. And we were chatting, and she's like, yeah, what would you possibly want a business grant for? And I'm like, oh, the Women Entrepreneurs Living Child-Free, which was not the name at the time because there was no name. I'm like, oh, what if we created this as a group? Because here's the thing, for the past 20 years, I've been doing networking and referrals. Like, that's been my topics of choice. And in 2017, I added the time program because I was using my tips and tricks to make the time to do the networking and referrals. So I added that. But I've been partnering with professional associations, networking organizations, chambers of commerce, heavily involved in BNI for 2 decades. Like, I get networking. And probably every year or so, somebody comes to me with a new networking group and they're like, hey, would you want to be a part of this? And I'm like, no, there are networking groups out there. I do not want to start my own networking group, which is what I said until January of this year, when I was like, wait, I've spent all of this time around networking organizations, seeing how they work, helping them grow, et cetera, et cetera. I know this space. And these are the women that I've been dying to hang out with. I got to stop using that word, y'all. So call me on it if you hear it. I'm trying not to use dying. These are the women that I really want to hang out with. And so I'm like, this is just meant to be. And in February, we had our first kind of informal conversation. We started doing networking and masterminds. We opened up the community, and we're still kind of figuring out what is it going to look like. And sometimes I joke, I'm like, barely I would have had time to have a kid, and it would be screaming right now. Not that it's screaming, but babies, they scream. You know, that's like the new phase if this had been a baby. I mean, really, I came up with the idea in January, so it would be brand new. We ain't having kids here, and so it's much more about creating this group. And it's interesting. I was in an event recently, and a child-free woman that has been to my event a few times was like, you know what? This is kind of very mom-centric, isn't it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that why I just left the room? Like, I didn't even realize it, but I'm like, I needed a break from the program that we were at. And I'm like, wow, like I didn't even consciously notice. She did. I didn't. But I'm like, I got up and took a break. I'm like, wow. And she's like, I want to come back to the event again. And what's great, because originally we were Wednesdays, the fourth Wednesday of the month from 2 to 4. And we have shifted that because what I am finding is there's a strong group in Europe that are also in this space of the child-free community. So we moved it to Tuesdays. So it's the third Tuesday. That way it doesn't conflict with Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving here in the States. And it's from 11:05 to 12:55. So we moved it forward a couple of hours. That will allow the Europeans to come. I mean, it's still afternoon or evening. And I know we've got one gal from Uganda that comes, so maybe we'll get a few more Africans. For the Hawaiians, it's not quite the same. Sorry. That does make it super early, but it's 5 a.m. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you're just going to bed. Eventually, my hope is that we will have meetings all times of the day, the month, the year, whatever it may be. We're getting together in person. We've got representation in all of the countries. And there's knockoff groups. Like part of my vision, I'm working on my vision now, is that there are knockoff women entrepreneur living child-free groups, because I think it's great for there to be a community for people to come to. And this is the group that I'm creating, so I'm making it in the way that I want to do it. And not everybody is going to agree with me. Some people, their idea of networking is breakouts all the time, and that's the focus. And I'm like, breakouts used sparingly. And so we may do a little bit of breakouts, but not a lot of breakouts in this community. But maybe we'll have somebody come on board that wants to host a networking event. So if you are a woman entrepreneur living child-free and want to help us create this, but if you want to work with us, let's create what we want. I love the idea of us being able to bring women together across the globe that are child-free to just enjoy the life. And yeah, it's not about being child-free. I've had plenty of people come to the events like we didn't really talk anything about being child-free, and that's it. This is a women's networking group, just without the kid talk. There are so many amazing mommypreneur groups. I think it's brilliant. And so this is just a space for us women entrepreneurs living child-free. Many feel that they are unicorns. And so I'm like, we're creating a herd of unicorns. That's what we're doing. So if you are a woman child-free, do come hang out with us at the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/women entrepreneurs living child-free. And as I mentioned, we have our networking event that you can come to for women entrepreneurs living child-free. There should probably be a space there. But if you do https://bit.ly-wcfc. So I'm sorry. I'm waiting for it to come back by y'all. WCFCC event. I have no idea. Oh, it's probably a women child-free connect and collaborate. I'm like, what was that code about? We'll have a pretty website coming next year. None of this is pretty. We're just kind of making it up as we go, and that's okay. We've got the flexibility and freedom to see where it goes. It's been awesome spending a few minutes with y'all sharing